For 40 years, Domestic Abuse Project has been a leader in providing services for every member of the family impacted by domestic abuse. Today, as the need for our programs has never been more acute, we're also participating in transformational change that we believe will result in safety, healing, restorative practices with communities, and side by side with families. DAP's mission is at the intersection of both the increase in intimate partner violence and the impact of racialized, economic, and systems trauma so many of our clients experience, and that places significant barriers towards healing and change. Together, today, we're inviting you to join us in moving from reflection to action, reaction to innovation, towards creating healthy families and communities. Join us.
I wouldn't be sitting here today talking to you if I hadn't have walked through the doors of DAP. DAP helped me make a safety plan. DAP helped me step forward in knowing that I needed to make other choices. In my case, I had to leave my relationship, and it took 5 years to do that. It was a lot of planning and a lot of work. I have a young son who's a young adult now who traveled through this journey with me. The fact that I know to keep him in therapy and the fact that I am healing and showing him that it's possible, that ripple in my family alone is going to affect the next generation. DAP is here, and if you need these services, come here, find them. You just get to totally work through issues with support, and I can't say enough good about that.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to DAP's first ever virtual event, United in Healing. While we wish we could be together at our annual luncheon or gala, we feel your presence and support tonight. My name is Annie Van Avery, and I'm the Executive Director of Domestic Abuse Project. I'm joined tonight by DAP's Director of Client Services, Amathony Keefe. Thanks so much for being here with me, Amathony, and for your incredible partnership and leadership in this past year. For the next 30 minutes, we're looking forward to sharing why DAP's mission is more critical than ever at this time, how we've walked with over 1,600 families this year in their healing process, and how we've responded to the significant changes our communities have experienced over this past year. Tonight, we invite you to join our efforts to build healthy communities and families impacted by domestic abuse.
Thanks, Annie. I'm happy to be here with you virtually and to have this opportunity to reflect on all the work that DAP has accomplished over the last year. At DAP, we have a 40-year track record of interrupting the cycle of violence, and we have a strong collective vision for transforming our work to be for and by the community for our next 40 years. We hope that you'll consider supporting our mission tonight through your contribution. We're grateful for DAP's ambassadors for this event tonight, United in Healing, such as Kelly and Dave, who you will hear from today, who have helped us raise $25,000 towards our goal already tonight. At any time, you can donate below or simply text Healing 2020 to 71777. Let's listen to our colleague Earl, who shares more about what connects him to our mission.
You know, growing up for me, actually, very unstable home. It was very rough. Very scary, lots of violence, lots of criminal behavior. It was challenging because my mother relapsed back into drug addiction. And so my grandmother, my dad's mom, became me and my older brother's legal guardian. I found myself in my latter years involved in the criminal justice system. It could have been a lot more sooner if that intervention didn't take place. When we were growing up in that house, it was back in the day, we had the block parties, the police will come out, the fire department, everybody, you know, they block it off from each corner. I mean, community was great, neighborhood was great. People talked, people laughed together, we cared. So yes, community was huge, neighbors were huge, but Even in the midst of that, I experienced being molested by a neighbor. I thought it was my fault. You just kind of shy away. Who can you trust, right? And then you actually start to adopt that this is okay, that this is healthy, this is the normal, because my brain hasn't matured. Then you have these unhealthy emotions. You're afraid and you're trying to protect, and there's just a lot going on. I know really how to process it and manage it. And it really wasn't until I hit 20 when I was sitting in Stillwater in that 659 incarcerated that I realized, hey, I'm messed up and I need help. Because when you're incarcerated, you can't run. I had to face all the hurt, all the pain, and then go have a talk with that little boy when the trauma began. For me, the work that we do here at DAP, working with the men, is really letting them know that their choices and their decisions doesn't have to be the end of their story. We understand that we all don't make the best decisions, but we do want you to be held accountable. What you did was wrong. Why you're here is wrong, but we're going to be with you all the way. And guess what? That's love to me. I want to let Black boys know, I see you, we see you. If you can latch onto a healthy support system and know at least that we are out here, it can lower the risk or the rate of you becoming a statistic. I can't pay it back, I just pay it forward.
Annie, I know that we have both been inspired by our team's ability to transform our programs over a matter of weeks as a result of the pandemic. The collaboration and support from our community partners has been vital in helping us meet the changing needs of families experiencing abuse, and their thought partnership has supported and guided our exploration of what restorative and transformative practices mean to the people that we serve. What many of you are hearing in the news and hearing from movements happening all around the world is looking to a model of community-led healing where folks are leaning on one another to receive and provide support, healing, and transformation. By returning to our connection to each other and learning what healing means in each of our cultures, we can repair harm through community-led transformation versus punishment. Our communities, our clients, the families that we work with have an intrinsic sense of what healing looks like, but so much of that intuition has been devalued, dismissed, or stripped away. We see our role at DAP as walking side by side with our families to uncover and lift up that intuitive wisdom to help shape each family's healing journey. At DAP, our vision moving forward is less about dictating or mandating a path for clients referred to our programs, and more about facilitating each client's unique path. You will hear our client Annie speak to this when she shares her story.
A lot of the time when you're in really horrible relationships, they really degrade and corrode how you internally feel about your life and what you know is true. It makes you feel like you're not eligible to be a part of anything because nobody understands you, nobody hears you. There's not a lot of places or people that really know what this feels like, and DAP was the place that allowed me to understand and recognize that it is an environment that facilitates the ability for you to connect to others that do truly understand where you're coming from. You're absolutely heard, and you're absolutely advocated for. They will go out of their way to make sure that you are in a safe space, or they will do their best in their abilities to be able to make that happen for you. So they really facilitate a lot of really great things for you to be able to move forward with your life. It was actually really transformative for me. DAP did a great job of placing me in a group of women that made it very easy to be able to engage, talk openly, and be comfortable with kind of accepting the things I was experiencing, feeling, and learning. Having a place where we were held space to be able to be as vulnerable as we needed to be able to share our story and to be able to really feel like we were being heard by somebody, because in our life at that point, nobody was listening. So that was really important, and that was really meaningful to be able to have that space to do that. DAP saved my life. Sorry. The women in the group saved my life. DAP gave me back what was being eroded from my personality, my self-esteem, and my life.
I believe in DAP's mission that we treat all members of the family with respect and that all are able to heal and grow and shift out of domestic abuse or shift out of the ways of engaging in abusive behaviors. And DAP is very unique in that we serve, men, women, children, the experience of being in a room with people who understand you and you don't have to explain yourself and you don't have to justify your actions or your choices is supremely powerful. That we heal in community. I'm a big believer in that. And being able to see your story reflected in someone else and be able to relate. That's one of the most consistent feedback of how group help changed people or their opinion about themselves or their relationships. We've seen time again the cycle of violence really starts with kids witnessing abuse and not having a narrative or not having an understanding of what's happening. So if we can help kids early on recognize, the patterns and what they can do and what they can do differently, or to recognize that it's not safe and you can trust yourself in feeling unsafe, then maybe there's a different course that they can take in their relationships as they get older. I feel like because DAP trusts that people know instinctively what they need, and really our job is just to help people start to trust themselves again and their intuition, because domestic violence will take that away from people. So when we get to support people in recognizing themselves as their own best healer, that carries far beyond anything. So it's not like, it was DAP that changed the course, but like DAP helped me find myself again so that I can walk through the world in a different way. That feels pretty powerful to me.
At DAP, we're really at the intersection of this possibility for change and healing. When we talk about DAP's program serving every member of the family impacted by domestic abuse, that includes a pillar of our programs, DAP's prevention and intervention program for people who have used abusive behaviors. These unique programs help members of our community end their abusive behaviors and replace them with actions that build healthy relationships. Those skills, the accountability, and the ongoing prevention is facilitated through individual and group therapy programs that are trauma-informed, meaning the curriculum and healing modalities take into account that over half of our clients in the program have experienced trauma as children, that over 90% are parents actively shaping their children's experience, and that 95% have a history of arrest and have experienced trauma through the criminal justice system. Upon completing DAP's prevention and intervention program, 90% of clients have had no arrests or police reports for domestic violence in the year following completion.
What brought me to DAP was an altercation between me and my wife. We got, a yelling match, screaming. We had a scuffle over the phone where she tried to put it in her pocket and I just ripped her whole pants leg off. She's never seen me that angry. She's never seen me. I called her some choice words, I called out her name and stuff like that. I said, I can kill you right now. I really can. I can shoot you in your face. That's why I told her. So she called the police. They came in and guns drawn, and I went to jail that night. They gave me a choice to do 90 days in jail or 3 years of probation. And then I had to complete the DAP program. I didn't know what to expect, but I was very embarrassed. I felt wronged. I felt like I needed to be there. I wasn't open at all at first. But when we got into the small groups, when we get personal with the DAP staff and everything that was running the services, they were very genuine. They was transparent. They understood. DAP, man, brought out some things from when I was a child that I actually still deal with. anything that you do and you feel like your emotions are heightened, you feel like somebody else did that, and so it's like, oh, because you still had that, going back as a child, because of this person, I did this, and that's a lot of people don't take accountability for that, and that's what DAP helps you with. I feel like it gave me definitely a boost of being a better husband, better father, for sure. I accept my fault. That was something that was never should have happened, and it shouldn't happen that way. Even though no matter what kind of feelings it, or no matter what it would have brung, but that gave me that thought process about how everything else, feels. Things around you, how can it affect you? If you want to be better, if you want to have some kind of tool, and you want to change something, a cycle of your life, and you want to figure what that is, you definitely need to go to DAP.
Thank you, Willie, for sharing your story and experiences with us. From meeting with you and hearing stories from other clients that have gone through our program, there's many themes that come up over and over again. One is feeling guarded when folks first arrive at DAP and are contemplating whether or not our services are the right fit for them, whether we're actually going to be able to provide the support that they need, and whether we'll be able to see them as a whole person. Really struggling with why folks might have come to our program to begin with and whether they need to be here, to moving into a space of accountability around actions that you might have taken and ways that you might have impacted and harmed other people in your life that you love, learning what abuse actually is, and getting engaged and motivated to actually change your own life. What Willie really talked about, and something that stood out to me, was that his experience at DAP didn't just impact how he was holding himself or his relationship with his partner, but it also impacted how he was as a father, how he was as a friend, how he was as a family member, and how he started to engage with other people in his community. And that really helped me think more about the importance of our program for children, for youth, and for folks that are connected to our early childhood program. And part of the reason that program is so important is because it really invests in support and therapy for our youngest witnesses of domestic abuse. This program helps to name the trauma experiences in our families and allows for opportunities to move forward in a different kind of way. It changes the trajectory for a child, and it helps reestablish safe connections that were severed as a result of fighting in the family. And that's something that Willie specifically named as being a really important part of his healing journey.
Yeah, thanks so much for that, Amithani, and Willie, for sharing your story. I think such an important aspect of our mission at DAP is to interrupt the generational cycle of violence, and really around advocating for safety and security for children. This work has also been a pretty amazing connecting point for child witnesses as they've grown up and they've started their own families. Kelly and Dave are going to share with us tonight their experience and why that's motivated them to give to DAP. Let's hear from them.
Hi, I'm Kelly Vosberg.
And I'm Dave Murphy.
And we are donors to DAP. And we also know firsthand that domestic violence affects everyone in the family. As a childhood survivor, I was often overwhelmed with feelings of helplessness, but also guilt and shame that this was somehow always my fault. I can remember as a very young child living in a constant state of fear and worry, waiting for something to go wrong.
And it took me well into my adult years before I was able to see how much of the cycle of abuse I had rationalized and blamed myself for within my family. But we've also seen firsthand how people that have lived in abusive environments can thrive and grow when given the space, safety, and support to find their own strength.
That's why we feel so passionate about the amazing work that DAP is doing to support families experiencing domestic violence, especially children. The youth programming helps even the littlest ones connect with trusted adults who can help them understand what is happening and to know it is not their fault. They learn skills that are not only life-changing, but in many ways are life-saving in that they empower children to stop the cycle of domestic violence.
please consider generously supporting DAP. During this time of political, social, and economic challenges, everyone is being stretched thin at a time when the services DAP provides are needed more than ever.
Thank you.
Thank you so much to Kelly and Dave for sharing your story and why you give, and all of you who have given generously tonight to ensure that we can continue to provide life-saving and transformational programs. For those of you who have not yet made your contribution, I hope you'll consider joining Kelly and Dave tonight. Together, we can embrace the opportunity for change and healing.
Yes, and when we talk about being at that intersection of change and meeting the individual needs of our clients, we are moving from reflection to action as an organization to address the barriers that our clients experience in receiving the resources that they need to gain safety and experience healing. And these barriers could be economic instability, racial inequity, and invisibility based off of their identity. The second is our own accountability as a systems-connected organization to embody the values that we hold, doing the work to become anti-racist and an anti-oppressive organization so that we are part of community-led solutions rather than contributing to harm. We see this moment as an opportunity to create a lasting impact on preventing future family and intimate partner violence through more intentional partnerships and really listening to the gifts and resources that our clients already have and investing in those strengths so that our clients can flourish.
Yeah, thanks so much for that, Amithani. I think we have both been so moved by the significant transformation this year and really understand what it looks like to connect with community around the work that needs to be done. I am really excited, Amithani. I'm just checking out what's going on tonight, and I'm so moved to see these generous contributions. So I just want to take a minute to thank some of our generous donors. I see Mickey O'Kane, who for over 20 years has supported DAP, and her continued commitment tonight is just inspiring. Daryl Ellsworth and Jessica Wiley for a decade of support and being incredible ambassadors tonight. I see Jamie Stilson for all that you've contributed over the last 6 years on our board. Thank you. Barb Levy, Tim Glusak, Susan, so many more who have both given and inspired others to join the DAP family. Thank you so much. Also, Amithani, we just love seeing the staff members contributing and new donors who are joining us tonight. It's so inspiring. Also calling out some really significant partners in DAP's fundraising and program work this year, specifically Love Conquers Violence and the members of Women's Health Leadership Trust. Shelley, Nick, and Love Conquers Violence family, thank you so much for your support. Let's hear a little bit more from Shelley and Nick about why they've chosen to focus their philanthropy and giving with DAP.
Hello, my name is Nick Beisel.
And I'm Shelley Beisel, and we are the co-founders of Love Conquers Violence.
We first learned about DAP in October of 2015 when a family friend mentioned to us about attending DAP's annual luncheon. My sister Natalie had just been tragically murdered due to domestic violence just 2 months prior. Shelley and I didn't know if it was the right time to go to something like this, but we decided there probably never was a right time, so we went. I remember walking into the Earl Brown Heritage Center and feeling a bit uneasy. Seeing the t-shirt project of all the victims taken far too soon was overwhelming, and I couldn't help but think of my sister. We checked in, walked around a bit, and sat down. I remember vividly watching a man speak about how he used to be an abuser and how DAP changed his life.
I think that's what struck us most about DAP. We truly believe that in order to end the cycle of abuse, we have to work with not only the victims, but also the perpetrators. By chance, we were placed by longtime DAP supporter Mickey. She asked us how we found out about the luncheon. We told her our story, and she quickly got DAP's executive director. Fast forward to today, and our nonprofit Love Conquers Violence has given over $60,000 to DAP so that they can do the critical work to end the cycle of abuse.
We are forever grateful for the invitation to the luncheon, for being placed at Mickey's table, and for the willingness of DAP to listen to Nat's story. We look forward to our continued partnership with DAP.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So tonight you've had a chance to hear from clients, donors, DAP leadership. Please help us continue this work by contributing a donation of any size. We really want to encourage you to join the DAP family tonight. So there's just a few minutes we have left for this evening's program. Consider making a contribution. It's so easy tonight. So you can text or give online. If you text, you can text to Healing 2020 to 71777.
And Annie, I'd personally like to give some shout outs to our amazing DAP ambassadors. These folks have been working really hard to raise funds and make a major difference in the DAP community. So Dan Nelson, one of our own, Amy Riccardi, and ambassadors who also contributed at the $500 and above level. Sophia Ford, who's one of our newest board members, Linda Hoputsak, Annie Van Avery, thank you very much for your donation, Barbara Levy, Susan Johnson, and Mary Welsh.
So exciting. We're also seeing really inspiring gifts coming in from Tom and Beth Ann Zimmerman. Thank you. Ken Makowski, Mary Gass, Sarah Gillette, Leslie Wilkie, Linda Polotska, Aaron Brown, Kevin and Gina Nelson. And Amithani, I am so thrilled to share that contributions from our generous community have already reached $40,000 tonight. So if you've not yet contributed, you may do so tonight and following this evening's event by texting Healing 2020 to 71777 or making a contribution online. We're so moved by your support, which will be fueling our mission for the year to come. Thank you. So as we wrap up tonight, we also want to give a shout out and a huge thanks to our sponsors, Gustafson Glick, Dorsey and Whitney, Burlesque Design, Women's Health Leadership Trust, Love Conquers Violence for their ongoing support. Also, huge thanks to our board of directors, staff, and volunteers for your unending dedication to our mission and clients. We urge you all tonight to share our message to your network so we can continue this important work in our community. Lastly, Amithani and I would like to thank our clients for your strength, resiliency, adaptability, for all the challenges that we've faced this past year. We're so grateful to the DAP family. For those of you tonight, we would love to welcome you to this family. And thank you so much for your support.